Fyodor Mikhailovich, watching this new war unfold, I'm more convinced than ever humanity learns nothing, not from the fires of 1812, not from the ruins of 1945, nor from all the blood-soaked pages since, the same banners, the same bombastic speeches, the same senselessness. I wrote War and Peace to show that war is not glory, but suffering, not a feat, but an absurdity. Yet people read it, nod wisely, quote it, and march off to kill again.
They don't learn, Lev Nikolaevich, because they don't want to, especially Russians. For us, suffering isn't a mistake. It's a faith, almost a religion. The drum drowns out conscience. Fools shout while the wise stay silent. Wars aren't started by geniuses, but by idiots blinded by dreams of greatness.
Why do we Russians always live as if on a war footing, as if peace were a betrayal and war our natural rhythm?
Because suffering is our truth. We confuse pain with meaning, blood with holiness. A quiet life demands maturity, but we're a people forged in fear, raised in barracks, not fields. We crave the great, even if it's just folly draped in a coat of arms. We seek epics because we fear simplicity.
And when there's no war, we invent enemies or messiahs. Boredom terrifies us more than death. Is our national character just an escape from the responsibility of peace? In Anna Karenina, I wrote of simple joys, family, work, the land. But who values them?
Exactly, we go to war to save the world from ourselves. Suffering is our essence, our habit. We mix shame with valor, pain with truth. I've always thought the Russian soul awaits great suffering, as if only in it does it feel alive. Not alive, justified. War is our ritual, a cleansing through blood. Peace demands effort, humility, but simplicity scares us. We need the loud, the tragic, the sacred. Happiness feels petty, un-Russian. We want to be heroes, but fear being human.
We were taught to survive and obey. When freedom came, we flinched. It demands accountability, so we seek a new whip in tyrants, in wars, in ideas.
That's why we chase enemies or crosses, anything to suffer again. Duty trumps life. The idea outweighs the person. Our God lives in pain, not love. That's our tragedy. Until we reject this cult of suffering, we'll kindle new wars, not because we must, but because we know no other way.
But if suffering is the meaning of the Russian soul, how do we stop this war within it? How do we break this cycle?
You want Russians to learn happiness without tragedy, without anguish?
Not just happiness, calm, to find joy in the small, in family, in work, in forgiveness, in silence, to restore the value of a single life, to say you are a whole world, not dust beneath history's boots. In Resurrection, I wrote of transformation through simple humanity. That's our path.
But from childhood we're told you're nothing. You'll become something only by dying for the motherland, for an idea. It's in our blood, in songs, in tales, in sermons.
Then we must teach differently, live for the motherland so no one has to die. Sow grain, teach children, build bridges, care for your neighbor. Create, don't destroy. I believed a person could live for life, not death.
There it is, the new idea for Russia, not empire, not messianism, but simple human goodness. So pain is no longer sacred and love no longer shameful. So we stop seeking salvation in suffering and find it in life. As long as we seek the whip, we'll find it, in tyrants, in wars, in false ideals. We create our own tormentors because we fear freedom. Until a person says, I have value, even as just a human, war will return, in new forms, under new banners.
The first vaccine against war isn't an army, it's dignity, personal dignity. You can live without heroism, without grand deeds, and without martyrdom. Just live humanly, without torment. But we must show this through books, through examples, through a new language. Teach children not heroism but kindness, not glory but responsibility. Change the language, change the schools, change the myths, rewrite the tales where the hero doesn't die for an idea but lives for others. Disarm not just the soldier but the mind that seeks an enemy to justify its pain. For a Russian to stop starting wars, he must wage a war within himself against the fear of being ordinary, against the shame of being happy. Only then will he stop seeking enemies or crosses.
And one day he'll wake up and want not to suffer, but to live calmly, humanly, not for greatness, but for life.
If only we could see it. Fyodor Mikhailovich, a Russian who doesn't fear being simply human.
That would be a miracle, Lev Nikolaevich, but miracles start small. With one person, one word, one day without war,